Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Saturday, August the 19th is the Grade 1 $1 million Pacific Classic. Let's take a look at the field. We are carded as race number 8. We have a field of 8 and we have Arrogate looking for redemption. I don't know what happened in the San Diego handicap. He didn't pick up his feet. I wish there was some sort of an excuse. He was sick, he bled, he grabbed himself coming out of the gate, there was a horseshoe lodged in his tail. Give me some sort of excuse as to why he ran that badly. I'm just not comforted by he didn't feel like it.
That's the problem, too. You know, it sounds bad that we're looking for an excuse, but you almost want to have an excuse for an effort that was that poor because he never threatened at any point. It's one thing if you're a short horse. It's one thing even if he's not feeling great. You're not supposed to be off the board against those horses, and you and I made a joke about it. If El Huerfano doesn't lose the irons, he probably finishes ahead of him as well.
The good Arrogate we know is the best horse in the world with respect to Winks, the Australian superstar. They're 1-2. Gunrunner is probably third right now. The one we saw in the San Diego handicap wasn't even close to it. I mean, it doesn't matter that it was Arrogate. If he was an odds-on favorite in a $50,000 claiming race, we would say that's a terrible performance for a favorite. And in a situation where Arrogate will be a short price, and you don't know what you're going to get, I think you're at least supposed to explore the alternatives in this field. If Arrogate shows up, he wins.
For me, this is a really polarizing race because if he shows up, not only does he win, I think he wins for fun. I think he wins by 5-6 lengths that we've seen him do in the past. To me, and I could be entirely wrong, I don't think it's going to be a matter of seeing him, grinding it out and just losing a photo. I think he's either going to put on a show or it's a disaster all over again. And look, maybe he really genuinely just hates the racetrack. I still have a hard time buying that. The reason that I'm leaning toward, and I'm going to just give it away now, that I'm not going to go with him, I watched that tape of his workout. I understand.
Unhappy.
I mean, he's never done that before. He was very late with the lead change. He was hanging on the left for a minute. He's got his head cocked to the grandstand. That's not the same horse that we had seen, at least, again, visually. I'm not there on the ground. I don't know how he was getting over it. But just what I saw, he doesn't normally change leads late like that. That's enough for me to look at it and say, you know what, at 3-5, I'm going to go elsewhere.
As we look at the Timeform US Pace Projector for the Pacific Classic, let me remind you that you can head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com, download free Formulator past performances for the Pacific Classic. I don't agree with the Pace Projector, which is a great thing about the Pace Projector. You don't have to agree with it. Bob Baffert does say you have to ride Arrogate a little bit more forward than you did in the San Diego handicap. You can't ride him like you did in Dubai, and the only reason he was like that in Dubai was because he missed the break. I don't see him in front.
I'd be shocked if he was on the front end. Keep in mind, too, this is not a horse that has a tremendous amount of gate speed. He's a little bit tardy out of the gate to begin with, and even then, it's not like he's some burner early on, and I can't imagine that Baffert has any intention of having his two charges get hooked up early.
Let's talk about Accelerate, who won the San Diego. Not only won, ran off and hid a 109 Beyer speed figure. I think we always thought that this Keeneland graduate had a race like that in him, but once Arrogate failed to show up, Accelerate was able to control a moderate pace and he sprinted on home. I think the question for him is, in a race where there is other speed, most notably Collected, is a 1.25 miles really what he wants?
John Sadler doesn't sound like he thinks that it is. It sounds like they were still planning on a year-end Gold Breeders' Cup dirt mile. I tell you what, the way that he ran that race, and you're right, everything changed completely when Arrogate missed everything. I kind of feel like the way that he galloped out, I know that he doesn't have to have the lead, and especially with Collected drawn just to his inside, I don't think he gets the lead. I wonder if the blinkers on was the light bulb going on, and him all of a sudden putting it together. Based on his pedigree, I think he's going to be able to get it. And if you can't, you can always fall back to the mile.
Distance will not be an issue for the number 5 Hard Aces, a Grade 1 winner at a 1.25 miles, recently just missed by a nose to Curlin Road in the Cougar II handicap. Hard Aces is 7 years old. He's earned over $1 million. He's a hard hitter and he benefits from pace. I just think at this point in his career, he's not the same horse he was last summer.
I picked him fourth. He's the uncoupled part of that whole Sadler-Hronis racing entry in here. I just kind of feel like they'll be pleased if he hits the board.
Curlin Road, nice claim for Doug O'Neill. He's won his last 2 starts on dirt, one at a mile, one at a 1.5 miles. He's versatile. I think he's going to sit a nice trip in this race, stalking the speeds, but your best buyer is only 89 after 24 lifetime starts. He's got to improve in a major way.
I picked him third. I think they're going to ride for a position like third or fourth as well. Take him back, make that one run, let the pace kind of duke itself out.
Sorry Eric is a solid 3-year-old who won a turf race most recently. He was in against some sharp ones in IRAP and Gervin, 2 next out graded stakes winners with buyers of 95 or above. This just seems like a very tough spot for a 3-year-old taking on older horses.
Very difficult spot. I also still maintain I think he's a turf horse.
Let's look at Royal Albert Hall, claimed by a very good trainer in Kristen Mulhall off of his last race. Dirt, complete unknown for this horse. Distance won't be an issue. He did some good work in synthetic earlier in his career, but he's just hard to love on paper.
He's never set foot on a dirt track in the afternoon. It's going to be fascinating to see what you get. I think you're going to have a similar ride to what you're going to get from Curlin Road. Take him back, make one run.
Baffert has done a great job with Collected. This is a horse in his last He's undefeated on fast dirt.
Yeah.
He's 6 for 6. The only time he's stubbed his toe has been on turf and on wet dirt. He ran off and hit in the Precisionist last time out. He won by 14 lengths, a 111 Beyer speed figure. I mean, those are Arrogate-like numbers.
100%.
Is a mile and a quarter what he wants to do if Accelerate pushes him early.
I've always been concerned about distance. The longer we go, the more I'm afraid that we're going to finally hit that wall. I tell you what, that most recent run in the Precisionist, I know, that was before Accelerate popped that big number. He finished like a good thing and he galloped out very well. There is something that always sticks in the back of my mind though. When leading into the Del Mar meet, Baffert said, we're gonna go to the turf with him probably because we got to find spots for everyone. Now all of a sudden, did he only come here because he's not entirely convinced that Arrogate's ready to go, or is it because they think a mile and a quarter this could be a Breeders' Cup Classic guy?
I mean, on paper, it looks like he could be any kind. I think you got to find out about the mile and a quarter. Pick time for the Pacific Classic. I think we both have to preface it as saying this, or at least I will certainly preface it by saying this. This is not a race where I want to have a lot of money on Arrogate and a lot of money in against Arrogate. I have no idea what I'm going to get. I know that if he shows up, he wins. After the last race, his aura of invincibility has been shattered, and he's going to be a short price. You're going to take Accelerate.
If it's just a situation for me, I agree with you. I don't want to have a ton against Arrogate, but at the same time, this could be one of those rare instances where you're going to get a horse that's going to be odds on in back-to-back races, and if there's either something wrong or he doesn't like the racetrack or he's just not feeling good anymore, you have a rare instance where you've got 2 consecutive races where he could lead to jackpot payoffs. I'm looking at this race saying he either wins by the length of the stretch or he's gone. I haven't gone. I went 3-2-7-5. Nowhere in the top 4.
In the San Diego handicap, when we talked about on Out of the Gate, you guys made fun of me when I said, I think Donworth can crack the exacta in here. And you know something he did? I just thought it would be way behind Arrogate, not finishing second to a runaway Accelerate. He didn't do much running in that race. This is a horse, though, that there's always been hype, and he's been more sizzle than steak, but he's also had a lot of injuries. Yeah. And in his 2 races back this year, the first race, I don't think the scenario's great. A razor sharp Collected breathing down your neck in your first start in over a year. And last time Accelerate just accelerated away from him. I don't really think middle distances is what he wants. He's sort of a plodding, grinding type. He's been on the pace in his last 2. He's not on the pace here. I'm not saying I'm all in on Donworth in a race like this, but I have a feeling a mile and a quarter is going to be okay for him. And if Arrogate stubs his toe, I'll go back to him.
And the other thing, too, like you said, as far as the pace is concerned, if things kind of heat up early on, he could work out a perfect trip in behind those, maybe get the jump on Arrogate. And again, if Arrogate, it all comes down to, is he going to stub his toe or is he going to be the Arrogate of old?
I want you to give the numbers to the fans.
Yeah, 3-2-7-5. I'm looking at it saying he either wins by 100 or he's nowhere, and basically it's a carbon copy of the San Diego.
6-8-2 for me, but if I was playing multis, I have a feeling Arrogate. I would still trust Baffert in this situation. He would be my only A.
Just because I don't have him in my top 4 numbers, he would be an A in a multi-race.
You've got to use him, especially if you've got prices in other legs. It'll be a very intriguing Pacific Classic in 2017, and if you are betting that race and the remainder of the Del Mar Saturday card from home, please sign up to DRF Bets. You will be rewarded with a $300 cash bonus plus a 10% win place takeout on 10 select tracks, including Del Mar, all summer long. Head on over to drf.com/take10. Approximate post time for the $1 million Grade 1 Pacific Classic, 5:30 Pacific. Best of luck.